Okay, I'm going to introduce a new concept that we'll be working a lot with in the future. That is basically merging two bits of geometry. And we would do this in an additive and a subtractive way for different reasons. In this case, we want to create the roof of this. So instead of opening this up and kind of dissecting it and adding all this new information to it, I'm just going to copy this so that I have that exact same shape. I don't have to worry about retracing around an existing arc and trying to line up a lot of difficult lines. I can actually make a separate top piece that I'm then going to fuse together with the bottom piece by exploding the two shapes and grouping them together. So let's do this step by step. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, move it and copy it up right on top of itself. Okay. Second thing I'm going to do is open this group up. I don't need any of this vertical three-dimensional information, so I can select all of that and delete it, leaving me with only what's happening on the bottom. I want this to be a solid shape, so I'm going to draw a line from this point to this point there, which is going to create that ceiling piece on the top of that. I now don't need this interior line here, so I can delete that, and I can make sure that I've deleted any vertical lines as well. So I'm just selecting the three elements. I've got a vertical line here, a vertical line here, and an arc here, and I'm deleting all three of those things just by selecting them, leaving me with one nice clean face. Now I know that this segment is going to be 18 inches thick, so I can pull that up 18, enter. Okay. Now I can go ahead and close that by selecting outside of the group. So what I have now is I have two groups. These two groups want to be one. I don't want to see this line here, and I don't want to see this line here or this line here. I don't care what's happening on the outside because we're never going to go outside of this model once we've made it. So I just want this to be nice and clean. Of course there's going to be a line here on the underside, and there will also still be a line here because what this line is doing, if I open this up, this line is the end of this plane. Then I have a curve, then I have another face with a line that separates. And if I delete this line, I'm going to start losing faces, which I don't want to do. We can get into how to get lines to disappear that we don't want to see later, but that still need to be there. But first things first, let's take these two groups, let's select them both, right click and lock them. Now I'm going to select everything. I have a shortcut set up which is Shift A, and that selects everything in my model. I can also go to Edit, Select All. Okay, so I've selected everything in the group, or everything in the model, and I'm going to hide it. It doesn't hide these two because these two are locked. That's why I locked them. I want to quickly isolate them from everything else. I find this to be much faster than trying to put things on their own layer, because when I'm working, I try to work as fast as I possibly can, and I like to be able to look at what it is I want to work on by itself without anything else in the way, and then be able to just bring it all back really quickly. So my next step is to unlock this by right-clicking and selecting Unlock. I also have a shortcut which is Shift K set up. Now that I've got two groups and I've got nothing else to get in the way, I can safely explode them both. So I select them both and I explode them both. Now I'm going to immediately select the whole thing again, and I do a big bounding box just to make sure that I've gotten everything, just in case there's anything floating or any lines that I don't see. So I do a nice big selection over the whole thing and I group it again. Now you'll notice this line on the inside, let me go ahead and open this up, this line on the inside has become thinner. That's because now these two pieces are fused together. This is now one shape. If I push-pull this face down on top, it's going to push-pull down into this model. That's good, because now what I've done is I've created two different objects and made them into one. I can easily now select this line and delete it, select this line and delete it, and do the same thing on the two sides. Okay, this one I'm not going to worry about because if I delete that line, oh, that's okay. I can delete that line as well. All right. Now I can safely edit, unhide all. and bring everything else back. Okay, great. So I've got my nice solid piece in place. So that's one in just one quick example of being able to fuse these two pieces together.